was asked out by a young heir to a fortune. So don't be so down. I'll be looking forward to your support as the president's wife from now on. I was asked out by a young heir to a fortune.
Huh? At a certain restaurant on the top floor of a hotel with a dazzling night view. The one speaking so dreamily, looking like she was in a trance, is my girlfriend, Yume Hirosue, who just turned 25 today. And the one frowning at her words is me, Satoru Shibata, a 27-year-old working in the product development department of a skincare company run by my uncle.
I'm sorry. I knew you'd react like that, but I felt I had to tell you, Satoru. A little while ago, on my way home from work, this incredibly handsome man called out to me. He was a total stranger, so I was confused and thought maybe it was some kind of hidden camera prank. But it seems he really fell in love with me at first sight. After that, he gave me his contact information and pursued me aggressively.
In short, during all of that, she also found out the guy is a wealthy heir.
I'm sorry. I knew I had you, Satoru, so I wasn't sure what to do. But when he came on to me so passionately, I couldn't help but feel it was destiny. I've decided to date him. So I'm really sorry, Satoru, but could we break up?
She's asking me this while looking apologetic, but deep down, she doesn't actually feel sorry at all. That's exactly the kind of woman Yume Hirosue is. I had learned that much during our short 6-month relationship. That's why I gave her an answer that would settle things peacefully. If that's the case, I guess it can't be helped.
Thank you. I knew you'd understand, Satoru. I was actually thinking you might propose to me today. I'm so sorry things turned out this way.
The face she's making is just an attempt to look like a good girl, and honestly, it makes me sick. But this is also to ensure a smooth breakup, to make her feel good about it. I also put on a disappointed smile. Don't worry about it, I wish you happiness. And just like that, I safely broke up with Yume in an unexpected way. Once I was finally alone and got into a taxi, I finally let my true expression show. Huh, how delusional can she get? She was going on about a proposal. What a joke. The only reason we went to that restaurant was because she begged me to take her there 3 months ago. It was definitely not for a proposal. In fact, I was planning to break up with her today. Excuse me, you dropped this. I met Yume half a year ago. It all started when she dropped her wallet on the station platform, and I called out to her.
Oh, no way. Thank you so much. I don't have time right now, but if you don't mind, could I treat you to something as a thank you later?
I was going to decline, but she mentioned it was payday and she had just put a significant amount of money in it. Overwhelmed by her insistence that I really saved her, and honestly, won over by her cuteness, I ended up exchanging contact info. We kept in touch even after she thanked me. We went on dates, and captivated by her cuteness, I ended up confessing to her. However... I'll pay, it's fine. You don't have to take out your own wallet from now on, Yume.
Huh? I can't let you do that.
Before we started dating, she would modestly pull out her wallet, but after we got together, she would just casually have it ready, fully expecting me to treat her as a given. Maybe some people think it's fine, since people get comfortable in relationships, and she technically did take out her wallet. But I couldn't help but feel something was off, because even though she stubbornly tried to take out her wallet after I told her it was fine, her attitude lacked any real gratitude.
Ah, that was delicious. Hey Satoru, next time I want to go to a hotel for afternoon tea.
And naturally, she started begging to go to expensive places. She never outright asked me to pay for her, but it was obvious she was talking under the assumption that I would. Yeah, that was the kind of person Yume Hirosue was. acting as if she's a good person while simultaneously believing she deserves to be treated like a princess. So, I thought there was a chance she'd throw a fit if I tried to break up with her. I'm really lucky she's the one who broke it off. Thank you, whatever wealthy heir you are. Sending out a silent thank you, I got out of the taxi in front of my apartment. As I stepped out, an unexpected voice called out to me.
Satoru!
Benio? What are you doing here at this hour?
It's not like I've been waiting for you all this time or anything. I just had something I absolutely needed to tell you right now, and it's definitely not because I wanted to see you, okay?
I see. So you had something to tell me, wanted to see me, and waited here the whole time?
I just said that's not it!
Alright. So, what's up?
I heard you got your heart broken. So, rejoice! I'll marry you!
Hello, Uncle? It seems Benio's brain has finally broken.
What are you doing? It's not broken. Stop it!
Out of the frying pan into the fire. Faced with my crazy childhood friend, I let out a massive sigh.
Nice to meet you. I'm Benio Ando. I'm 5 years old.
I met this textbook tsundere when I was in elementary school. I went to my uncle's house, which had become a routine, and found out he was meeting a friend. I ended up going to eat blowfish with my cousin, and that's where I met her. Benio is 5, huh? Then you boys are much older big brothers to her. Nice to meet you, Benio. Wait. Before that, let go of me. You're annoying. After that, my interactions with Benio continued. Compared to my cousin, I didn't see her as often, but I think we met about twice a month. By the way, I was at my uncle's house almost every single day. I was fascinated by my uncle's job, and since his house was close to my parents', I could easily go visit just by hopping on a bus. What? You're here again?
Nobody invited you. And what the heck is with that stuffed toy?
As an aside, my cousin who is 1 year younger, Hiroki Kitagawa, loves me a little too much, which is his only flaw. Apparently, when he was just born, for some reason, he refused to let go of my finger. She used to be so shy and honest when she was little. Why did she grow up to be such an unapologetic tsundere? I couldn't exactly invite a girl turning 23 this year into my apartment, so we moved to a family restaurant where I secretly lamented the cruelty of time.
What? Is there something on my face?
Nah, nothing. Anyway, what's this about marriage? And for starters, how did you know I got my heart broken? I literally just broke up an hour ago.
That's,
Between the ambush in front of my apartment and everything, it's almost like you knew I was breaking up today.
That's not true.
I guess it's not impossible that you know my ex, but if that were the case, she definitely would have bragged about knowing you. Even without that, it makes more sense that you heard it from someone on my side, right?
What are you talking about? Aren't you overthinking it?
That being said, I haven't told anyone I was planning to break up today. At most, there's only one person I told that I was thinking about it. Could it be? But Benio, if that's not it, then it means you were stalking me or something.
Huh?
If you didn't hear it from anyone, that's the only explanation. What? You actually like me so much that you hired a detective to investigate me? Just kidding.
I'm sorry.
I messed up. I didn't think I'd actually hit the mark, so I hastily corrected my posture. Sorry, Benio. I just assumed there was some arranged marriage talk going on. So I thought maybe the company hired someone to keep an eye on me.
No. My dad and your uncle have nothing to do with it. I was investigating you on my own. I heard from my dad that you were thinking about breaking up with your girlfriend, and I thought it was my chance.
If she heard it from her dad, then his source has to be my uncle. I once told my uncle that I was thinking of breaking up with Yume, so there's no doubt.
Because if I didn't act fast, maybe that someone else might snatch you up again.
Pervert?
I couldn't bear that because I've always liked you, Satoru. Because of my stupid stubbornness, we stopped seeing each other, so to you, I'm probably still stuck as a middle schooler. So I won't ask you to marry me right away. But I'll do my best. I'll become your ideal woman, and I'll even try hard to be honest with my feelings, so...
Ah, she's serious. For this hardcore tsundere to say she'd even change that about herself, it really shows how serious she is. You don't need to do that.
I'll definitely be of use to you, Satoru.
That's not what I mean. I'm saying you're fine just the way you are, Benio. I actually like your tsundere side. At this point, it's circled all the way back to just being super sweet anyway.
Sweet?
Yeah, but let's put the marriage talk on hold for now. I know you well, and I do think we could build a great family together, but... You gathered the courage to confess to me. I want to genuinely consider whether I can return those feelings. Just like you said, Benio, I only know the middle school version of you, so let's start as friends first. Friends with the premise of eventually dating. Is that okay with you?
No! It's fine. I'd like that.
Benio, her cheeks dyed a rosy pink with joy, was incredibly cute. And then, as if suddenly realizing it, she snapped. I'm an adult now, so it's not like I'm that happy about it. She was, naturally, much more mature than the girl in my memories. According to her, there's no time like the present. The very next day, Saturday, I headed to the meeting spot she invited me to, only to find... Benio, are you looking to buy some cosmetics? She had told me beforehand that she would plan our day, but we ended up at the cosmetics floor of a department store.
Well, it's not like there isn't anything I'm interested in. I chose this place today because I thought you'd definitely enjoy it too, Satoru.
Me too?
I thought I'd give you a detailed explanation of each brand's marketing strategy. I've always been good at this kind of stuff, but now that I work as a salesperson, I know way more than before. Well, you're interested, right?
The skincare company I work for was originally an OEM, a company that develops the contents of products for other brands. However, in recent years, we've developed our own in-house brand and have been focusing on that.
Their marketing here is exceptionally good.
Seeing that I was interested, Benio began explaining things one by one.
They focus mainly on cosmetics, but there's a constant demand for their skincare line too.
Not to be rude, but their ingredients aren't exactly mind-blowing, and their packaging is quite simple too. I just assumed it was all brand power.
Well, you can't deny that's a big part of it, but they've been increasing their sales even more recently. That's because headquarters poached a famous talent in marketing. Since then, they've changed their approach to skincare a bit. They made the packaging simple yet luxurious, appealing to their target demographic. And for ingredient descriptions, they pick out details that resonate, like contains rose extract loved by Cleopatra, one of the world's 3 great beauties.
Like that, Benio carefully explained everything one by one. After hearing her out, my only thought was this. You could totally just use affordable drugstore brands then. I thought maybe there was something I didn't know about. I thought so, but the reality was exactly what I suspected. Cheap drugstore ingredients are perfectly fine, and in fact, some affordable products are even better.
Well, from the perspective of a technical guy who cares about the contents like you, Satoru, of course you'd think that. What sets them apart from drugstore products is that their high price tag allows them to use rare ingredients, and they can spend a lot of money on packaging and advertising. Also, the feeling of satisfaction from buying a high brand, that's all it is, but, you know, just that alone is incredibly important in business. Caring about the contents is wonderful, but that doesn't give you an excuse to dismiss everything else.
The phrase dismiss everything else hit me hard. I didn't mean to do it, but since I believed the contents were everything, I had definitely been unconsciously looking down on products that sold themselves on other aspects. You mean what my department lacks is presentation?
Yeah, basically. Focusing on ingredients is the type of presentation that resonates, and I think it's a fine direction for branding. But that alone isn't enough. I'm sure you're still obsessing over it, but if the numbers are bad, that's what it means. Anyway, first of all, you need to understand your target demographic. Analyze, and overanalyze until you can practically hold their underlying desires in the palm of your hand. The products you make are incredibly good, so if you can just do that, I'm sure you'll soon...
I realized why Benio had come up with this plan. She knew. She knew that our in-house brand was struggling, and that I was stressing over it. Benio...
Huh? Oh, I'm not saying the mindset that contents or everything is bad or anything. It's just that there are other ways to think about it. Or rather, it's just what I personally think.
Thank you. You really opened my eyes.
You accepted that pretty easily. Well, of course. After all, I'm the daughter of the managing director of that brand.
Right. The reason Benio has always been knowledgeable about this stuff is because her father works at a high-brand cosmetics company. That's also the reason why I briefly thought this might be an arranged marriage earlier. Well, sure, there's that too. More than anything, it's because you were the one who said it. You can't lie, and you're kind. I can trust what you say. Even today, instead of just bluntly criticizing me, you went out of your way to make sure I had fun. You probably thought about how to give me advice without hurting my pride way more than I can imagine.
Don't get the wrong idea. It's not like I did it for you or anything.
She's so easy to read. Seeing her pout with a bright red face, I let out a genuine laugh. My relationship with Benio progressed smoothly. 3 months after we reconnected, I confessed to her, and we started dating. Satoru, are you dating her? Yeah, you could say that. I don't know what'll happen yet, but I'm seriously considering marriage. Aren't you getting married, Hiroki? I bet any kid of yours would be smart and cute. I was so uncharacteristically giddy that I was even talking about stuff like that with my cousin Hiroki, who is now also my coworker. That's my Satoru. Even though we're both engineers, it seems I completely lack talent in that area. That day, I was invited over for dinner at my uncle's house. Taking Benio's advice and immediately putting it into action, I had already begun to see tangible results. Turning a 1 into a 10 is completely different from creating a 1 from 0. You really are amazing, Satoru. Hearing that from someone as capable as you makes me blush, but all I did was give instructions. We don't have any concrete results yet. No, it's definitely thanks to you, Satoru. And we will absolutely see results. Oh, by the way, on a different note, there's something I want to ask you.
Satoru, it's been a while.
Now, half a year after that home party, I found myself reunited with my ex-girlfriend at a wedding reception. Yes, this was Hiroki's wedding. The thing he wanted to ask me that day was my availability. It's been a while, Yume.
Come on, you don't have to be so formal. Oh, Hiroki, this is actually my ex-boyfriend. I was really surprised when we were sorting out the guest list to think you were Hiroki's cousin.
It seems Yume really had no idea until then. She must have been curious when she saw the guest list, but even she couldn't just casually bring up my name without confirming if it was really her ex. Are you okay, Satoru? Your face is twitching. Whose fault do you think that is, huh? I want to punch my past self. I'm currently experiencing the phrase, "it's no use crying over spilled milk" firsthand. For now, almost out of spite, I forcefully swatted away his annoying hand. Yume, are you really sure about him? I heard you guys haven't legally registered the marriage yet, right?
Yeah, we're submitting the papers first thing tomorrow morning. Honestly, I wanted to get married sooner, but having the wedding first felt so romantic. Like being in a storybook. I get why you're jealous, Satoru. But I'm sorry, I choose Hiroki.
This is bad. By trying not to say anything inappropriate here, it looks like I'm still hung up on her.
It must be tough for you, but I'm sure time will heal your wounds. And I'm sure a wonderful person will appear for you someday too, Satoru. So don't be so down. I'll be looking forward to your support as the president's wife from now on.
At her words, the people sitting at our table went, "Huh?" And then I realized Yume had misunderstood, just as I opened my mouth to correct her. The next president is Satoru.
Huh?
I told you many times, didn't I? I have zero intention of becoming the president. Hiroki stated it, looking displeased. That's not a face to show your beloved wife, I thought, letting out a small sigh.
Wait, you were just saying that because you're humble.
No, I meant it. I want Satoru to become president, and if anything, my dream is to be a secretary.
Secretary? That's such a waste! But you're so good at your job, Hiroki.
Well, she has a point. So even if I were to become president, it'd be a waste for Hiroki to just be a secretary. I'm glad you think so, Satoru, but I'm always training my team so that things run smoothly even if I'm not there. My plan is to have them trained well enough that I can completely step away in 3 years. No matter what you say, Satoru, I won't compromise on this. Because he's so incredibly capable, he could actually pull it off. That's exactly why it's a waste. Even if you could do that, whether I can become president is another story. Me being the next president is just a rumor floating around. No, there are actually many voices pushing for you as the next president because of this latest project, Satoru. After all, sales are already going up. At this rate, our sales will likely see a 120% increase within a year. Hiroki nodded vigorously at my uncle's words. Seeing the reactions of her father-in-law and husband, Yume seemed to finally believe that her husband wasn't the next president.
That can't be.
Too bad for you. You happily told me you were asked out by an heir, but being an heir doesn't mean he's the next president. Well, I was planning on breaking up with you that day anyway.
Wait, what?
I just hope you don't regret the choice you made. I hope you find happiness. We couldn't stay in these seats forever. Amidst the suspicious glares, including those of my parents, they moved on to the next table. She said Yume was your ex-girlfriend, Satoru. Could she be the one you mentioned? Yes. I see. I thought it was strange that Hiroki decided to marry so suddenly. Because I had already told him the circumstances of my breakup with Yume, my uncle seemed to have figured it all out, just like me. My stomach hurts. Even though they haven't officially registered their marriage yet, my uncle and I stared at them with heavy hearts, wondering what the best course of action would be. I need to talk to Hiroki. In the end, this was the conclusion we reached. Deciding that the after party would be the only time we could talk, I pulled Hiroki away from the venue, and we are now facing each other. By the way, Benio had also joined from the after party. I asked you when I got the invitation, but I'll ask again. Do you really intend to make Yume happy? This again? Of course. I swear, I'll be as gentle as possible and ensure she never has to worry about money. Why am I asking this? Because the moment his partner turned out to be Yume, it meant their meeting was entirely orchestrated. When I received the invitation from Hiroki and saw the bride's name, I confronted him. What are you trying to pull? Let it be known, I didn't feel like she was stolen from me, so my anger wasn't about him taking my girlfriend. It was because I realized something. This marriage might turn out to be incredibly cruel to Yume. You knew I wanted a clean breakup and set this up, didn't you? Yeah, worked out great, didn't it? Yume told me she was randomly approached on her way home, and that it was love at first sight. But if you made a move just to get her to break up with me, that means you lied to Yume. Sure, I wanted a breakup, but I absolutely never wished for Yume to be unhappy for the rest of her life, and it's not like she did anything that bad. I just felt like we weren't a match. It's not like Yume actually did something terrible to me. That's why I asked you over and over, and you insisted that even if the meeting was staged, marrying her was your own choice. I accepted it because of that, but after seeing the way you looked at Yume today, I'm certain. You don't actually like Yume at all, do you? Well, I don't have any romantic feelings for her. Yet, he seemed to harbor some kind of emotion, enough to deceive my uncle. That's exactly why I find it so unsettling. Hey, why did you marry Yume? If your goal was just to get her to break up with me, you didn't have to go as far as marrying her. For someone who has zero interest in romance or marriage to suddenly tie the knot, and with Yume of all people, I can only assume you're plotting something. Why? You're the one who said it, Satoru, and you wanted to see a child of mine. Huh? When did I started to speak, but then remembered. When I told him I started dating Benio, I had said, I bet any kid of yours would be smart and cute. I happened to overhear you complaining about her to my dad, Satoru, and I thought I should take action for your sake. So I approached her, and it's great that she broke up with you so smoothly. But honestly, she became a real nuisance after that. But I didn't want to risk any harm coming your way, so I refrained from blocking her number. Then, when you told me you wanted to see my child, it just clicked. I realized there was a perfectly suitable option right here. In other words, he got married just to have a child because I mentioned it. Besides, Satoru, if you're considering marrying Benio, you're probably thinking about having kids eventually, right? If I have a child too, our families can be close, and we can share our anxieties about raising kids. Thinking about it that way, it's actually better if I have a child. It makes sense. Marriage isn't necessarily just about romance, and maybe Hiroki's approach isn't wrong either. It doesn't sit right with me that he based this entirely on me, and something about it feels off, but... Alright, well, as long as you make her happy, I guess it's fine. Just make absolutely sure Yume never finds out the real reason you married her. I'm sure you know this, but she has a real princess complex. If she finds out you didn't actually love her... Hearing a footstep, I immediately whipped around to see Yume, standing there, completely pale.
I was curious, so I came looking for you, and then I heard you guys talking about something disturbing. What do you mean you don't have romantic feelings? That makes it sound like Hiroki only got married for Satoru's sake, and that it didn't even have to be me.
It seems she heard quite a bit. I thought I had been careful about choosing a place where no one would hear, but I was careless. Yume, calm down. Hiroki really does intend to make you happy.
That's not enough. I want to be loved more than anything. I only married him because he fell in love with me at first sight and proposed by saying he wanted my child. Are you saying the whole love at first sight thing was a lie? And it was actually all for Satoru's sake?
I'm sorry. I apologize for lying to you.
That expression! Those eyes! I felt uneasy for the first time when I saw you talking to Satoru at the reception. I thought I was loved, but the way you acted when talking to Satoru was completely different. That's why I got anxious and came looking for you, and it turns out... I thought you were the next president, but you're not. And you don't even like me. You approached me acting like a wealthy heir who fell in love at first sight, you monster. If this is how it is, Satoru is a much better man than you.
Only the sound of her heavy panting echoed loudly. Hiroki watched Yume with a completely emotionless gaze, and then, without changing his expression, stated as if it were the most obvious thing in the world. Why are you stating the obvious? Satoru can be blunt, but if you get to know him, you realize he's a straightforward and kind-hearted person. Since you dated him for half a year, you should know that much. And yet, you chose me, a total stranger who called out to you, simply because you found out I was a wealthy heir. You made that choice yourself.
But...
Furthermore, I never once said I loved you. Even when I proposed, I clearly said I wanted a child with you. Even so, I intended to cherish you as much as possible. But if that's not good enough for you, let's call off the marriage.
I want someone who will love me the most. I refuse to marry someone who doesn't even like me.
I see. Saying that, Yume just turned and went home. Hiroki seemed completely uninterested in Yume's departure. He just smiled at me and headed off to handle the aftermath of the after-party.
No matter how many times I think about it, deceiving me like that is so cruel. I'm so pitiful.
Now, as for what happened to Yume Hirosue after that, she explained to her parents that they had different views on marriage and broke things off with Hiroki. With her impossibly high standards, she registered on a matchmaking app, exclusive to high-income men, trying to find a new encounter.
Someone who's kind, sincere, good at their job, rich, not too desperate but still desires me properly. Huh? Satoru?
It was while she was heading to meet her date, thinking about those things. Yume, coincidentally, spotted me. Come here, Benio.
Huh?
A casual escort to keep her away from the street. Come to think of it, Satoru always did things like that for me. That guy, any man who tried to dump me is out of the question anyway.
However, the man she met that day ended up being a one-time thing, and she hasn't been able to find a good match since.
But why does Satoru's face keep popping into my head?
All she could think about was what would have happened if she had chosen me that day. She knows I was planning to break up with her anyway, so she's perfectly aware that these what-ifs are meaningless, but she can't seem to stop thinking about them. In the end, she gave up on finding new romance, and spent her days lethargically, obsessed with meaningless what-ifs about me. As for me, I got legally married a year later, and held our wedding ceremony half a year after that. For some reason, my uncle is sobbing, even harder than either of our parents, which is a bit of a mystery.
Thank goodness! I somehow managed to protect Satoru all the way up to this point.
Meanwhile, Benio was internally filled with a sense of accomplishment. The reason she felt this way dates back to the day of Hiroki's wedding after-party.
For someone who just got dumped right before the wedding, you look pretty indifferent.
This happened after that after-party. Benio, who had told me she was going to the restroom, desperately needed to talk to Hiroki and approached him. Well, I only ever wanted a child anyway. If she says she doesn't want to, then it can't be helped.
I wonder about that. To me, it looks like you had another motive, and you've already achieved it.
Oh, you're surprisingly sharp.
I knew it. So what you achieved through that woman was...
Yes, exactly. Thanks to her, I got to become Satoru's brother.
Brother?
That is, of course, through...
What the heck are you saying, you pervert?
The reason he managed to fool our uncle so well, despite having no love for Yume, it was because Hiroki did, in a very specific way, actually love Yume.
When I heard from my dad that Satoru was going to break up with that woman, my first thought was making sure you didn't beat me to him. Because I have no idea what you might pull. You've always been super clingy with Satoru, keeping me away from him. And to lay it all bare, Hiroki is an extreme pervert only when it comes to me.
His underlying motivation is always for my sake, so there's no actual harm done. And as far as I'm concerned, there won't be any harm in the future either. But Benio apparently didn't see it that way.
Thanks to you, I even had to hire a private detective.
How rude. True, I love Satoru very much, but strictly as a cousin. Your concerns are completely unfounded.
People who adore someone as a cousin don't rejoice like that. Anyway, what you did was despicable. As a fellow woman, I can't forgive you, and if Satoru knew, he'd be absolutely disillusioned. If you don't want me to expose you, you better just sit back, suck your thumb and watch as Satoru and I live happily ever after. But I can't let my guard down. That guy is way too capable for his own good, so I have to constantly stay on high alert.
Benio.
Yeah?
Benio, you look beautiful. Having such a wonderful person as my wife makes me blush all over again. I was actually the one who requested a traditional Shinto wedding. I thought Benio would look absolutely stunning in a shiromuku. By the way, I had her wear a wedding dress for our pre-wedding photo shoot. She looked incredibly beautiful in that too.
Of course I do. I'm the picture-perfect Japanese beauty after all. I'm not happy about you saying that at all, okay?
Yeah. You're so cute, Benio. You can't truly understand a person's true nature without getting deeply involved with them. They might actually be incredibly sweet instead of just a tsundere, a total pervert only towards a specific person, or overwhelmingly narcissistic. And whether or not you can accept those traits probably depends largely on compatibility.
Satoru, you've always been handsome, past and present. But today, you're the most handsome of all.
Oh. My face broke into a massive smile. My tsundere wife, whether she's being cold or sweet, is incredibly cute again today.
Hi guys, this is Yoko. Benio's a bit of a tsundere, but I'm glad Satoru finds that cute. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video!